What happens when Frank Lloyd Wright takes his affordable Usonian idea and drops it onto a steep Michigan ravine? Today, we're in Bloomfield Hills to study the Affleck House, a compact masterpiece that cantilevers over a stream and turns a tricky site into architecture. Welcome back to FC Architecture. Designed in 1940 and completed in 1941 for Gregor and Elizabeth Affleck, this is one of Wright's early Usonian houses, his answer to a simpler, lower-cost American home. The house later entered the care of Lawrence Technological University in 1978, and it's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Tours and restoration work continue to keep it alive as a teaching tool. The clients admired falling water and wanted something equally integrated with nature. According to accounts, Wright first told them, "Find a site no one else can build on." They chose a wooded ravine with a small stream, perfect for a design that would bridge landscape and home. This is the project before brick and Cypress, ideas made visible. At eye level, you see Wright's strategy for the Affleck House. A long, razor-thin living bar spans the ravine, while a compact masonry core and bedroom wing anchor into the hill. The tight rhythm of vertical mullions sketches a continuous glass wall, and the layered contours on the base remind us the house doesn't sit on the site, it bridges it. This is how we test proportion, light, and the cantilever before we ever pour a slab. Look closely. The model tells the whole design story. A horizontal living room projects across the ravine. The hearth and service core lock the house to the ground. The bedroom bar bites into the slope. Those thin uprights mark a glass screen that keeps the elevation light, while the contoured base explains drainage, views, and why a steel-assisted cantilever makes sense here. Working at this scale lets us sight lines, check parapet heights, and tune the balance between span and mass, the essence of the Affleck House. Wright organizes the house around two bars that lock into the terrain, a living dining workspace that projects over the ravine, and a bedroom wing that bites into the hill. Many sources describe the composition as a perpendicular cross, entrance at the junction, while measured drawings show the lived experience as an L-shaped sequence. Loggia, living room over water, private room stepping up a half level. The key is crossing and anchoring. One bar spans, the other roots. In section, the idea becomes obvious. Masonry core. Chimney rise like a tree trunk. The living room forms a long cantilever over the ravine, and a roof deck. Skylights bring top light through the central spine. In elevation, Wright pushes horizontality. Even the mortar joints are detailed to read horizontal. Raked bed joints, flush head joints. Arrival is classic Wright. Low carport, tight entry, then a sudden release into a skylit loggia. Floor-to-ceiling doors pull your eye to the woods. From there, the house flows into one unified living dining workspace, the Usonian ideal, spanning roughly 40 feet across the ravine, with a wraparound balcony that extends the room outdoors. This is classic Usonian privacy from the street, a low roof, a solid brick wall, and a clerestory strip set high for light without views in. The carport and entry are tucked under the eaves, while all the big glass opens to the ravine side, not the road. From the public side, the architecture is intentionally defensive, a low, continuous profile, a solid masonry shield, and high clerestory slots that admit daylight but block sight lines. The approach is through a shaded notch, so movement is protected and the interior remains unseen from the road. This early concept sketch already fixes the big idea. A long living bar bridges the ravine, held by a masonry spine that bites into the slope. The street side is screened by a garden wall, while the landscape side opens as a ribbon of windows and a planted balcony. Wright draws the house's terrain, Horizontal courses echo the contours. Structure and site read as one. As mentioned earlier, we arrive from the carport, moving through a play of light and shadow into the house. The approach is deliberately cinematic. The entry is here on the left, at the central hinge of the plan, where the program is organized and the layout cleanly separates the day zone from the night zone. Once inside, we step into the Skylit Loggia, a burst of light and contrast. We get a direct view to the wooded ravine, while the glass roof lifts the section and brings nature in from above. From the very first step, the ceiling opens and the landscape wraps around us, the classic right harmony between people and untouched nature. At this point, and we'll revisit it later, this central element does more than organize the plan. In this house, it becomes a passive climate device. By combining cross-ventilation with the thermal mass of the concrete floor, it stabilizes temperature and moisture, adds thermal inertia, and delivers a level of comfort rarely seen in houses of this type at the time. With that in mind, let's focus on the clear split between private bedrooms and the public living zone. Along the ravine side, a continuous band of windows runs the length of the balcony, giving a panoramic view, an intentional echo of falling water, as the clients referenced. This calmer outdoor relationship lets the entry and living area read as one open, fluid, and protected space, classic Usonian, open to nature, shielded from the street. The palette is brick and tidewater cypress, inside and out. Inside, the cypress boards line walls and ceilings. Screws are brass and aligned with the grain, a small but telling right detail. Floors are pigmented concrete set to a 4x4-foot grid, which also organizes cabinetry and partitions. Daylight comes from skylights and continuous clerestories along the gallery. And there's a brilliant environmental trick. A light well in the loggia opens toward the stream below. When you open the trap windows, cool air is drawn up into the house, passive cooling decades before it was mainstream. The radiant heating is embedded in the slab, warming the house from the floor. The long living room projection isn't just romantic, it's engineered. Behind the wood and brick, wide-flanged steel beams carry the floor to achieve the significant cantilever. The balcony extends about 56 feet overall, stepping wider at the far end. The bedroom wing counters this by anchoring the composition into the hillside. Let's wrap. Entry through the carport compresses, the loggia releases. The plan's hinge splits day and night. Cross-ventilation and thermal mass do quiet environmental work, while hidden structure enables the long cantilever. Horizontal lines keep the house calm against the woods. This is Wright's Affleck House, precise, modest, and daring at once.